All right, good morning. It is day three with Empty Logistics Dispatching course. Again, my name is Marian E. King, and today we are going to be going over a few things and pretty much just bringing the information and the things that we've gone over so far this week together. So we'll be talking about cold calling, finding carriers, interviewing carriers, doing credit checks, showing you all how to find a surety bond if a broker does not pay your carrier. Um, Conversations well on how to contact the broker and what we say. We'll be looking at rate confirmations. So you'll get familiar with this and see the certain things that are on there. And we'll also be talking about, we'll be utilizing the DAT load board today, just showing you all how to find loads and what you'll generally be doing. Um, and with building our leads list or looking for carriers, I'll be showing you all how to find them on the Safer website. We'll also be going over the pay process. How do we get paid? How do we get the carrier paid? Because this is important. We've talked a whole lot about doing the work, doing the things, and now it's time to get paid for the things. And I have square.com up here because it is a way to easily invoice even when you're not ready, or if you don't want to get a business bank account, not yet or ever, you can still do this because it is important for us to make sure we do not commingle funds. We want to make sure that we always have a way to keep our personal funds separate from the business funds. So I'm going to bring up my screens. So today we're going to be using the Safer website. Well, all right. She's in there. Now you still on mute. Let me unmute you. Close out your phone. All right. So let's close this and bring the chat box back up. So all right. So hold on for me just a second. So you're still on mute for a minute. So let me finish this. So y'all, we got excited. So I brought up the square. So I'm going to show you all how to, I'm going to show you my invoices on how I use Square so we know how to invoice our carriers. And we're also going to talk about carriers who have factoring companies and how factoring works and versus your carriers that may not have factoring and you have to invoice them. So let me pull up. We're going to start with the Safer website, and we're going to actually see how to look for carriers. So I'll just recap. So we have the information. We have in mind what equipment that we want to work with, but we are also aware that as new dispatchers, if you do not already have a carrier ready for you when you come out of class that has a dry van or a refrigerated van, also referred to as a reefer, but we have to be careful when we say reefer on the internet because some apps will flag it because they're not knowing that we're talking about a refrigerated. My They don't know that we're talking about a refrigerated truck. They just a reefer, and I'm telling my age, but many of us know that's what some things were called that were not associated with the transportation industry. Beside myself. Okay, so if you don't have those equipments, the reality from what I've seen so far repeatedly is who are going to come to us and look for us will be new carriers driving box trucks. So we want to be prepared. We don't want to, push everyone away because they have that equipment, because we do realize also that we are new as well and we want to get a start somewhere. And although the box truck can be a challenging piece of equipment to run, you will still get your practice in because you still do the same steps with, excuse me, a box truck that you'll do with a dry van, with a flatbed, with a refrigerated truck. Just you'll learn how to do all of the things. You'll learn how to speak to people. and all of the things. So we're going to start there. So we're going to pull up our Safer website. The first thing that we want to do as a dispatcher is find carriers. We want to be able to find our own carriers. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put the present up here. And share. All right, so here we go. So we want to be able to find our own carriers. So what we will do is, I was on here doing some cold calling. So let me start you from the beginning. So we need to pull up the Safer website. Let me just take all of this off of the end. So we're going to go to Safer. Safer.fmcsa.dot.gov. It's going to tell us welcome. Or actually, this is not the one that I want to go to. So let me go to Google. Safer FMCSA. All right, and this is the one that we want to hit, the company snapshot. So you will need an authority to log into this. You can use a default one that I'm going to pull up, the 117-5674. All right, everybody good? Everybody got it? All right, so 117-5674. This is just to access it. This is already somebody's carrier. They're already active. So we're going to hit search. Then when we hit search, because we don't need any of this, but this is what you all will look for, and that'll let you know to call. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just split my screen so I can see what you're doing and do what I'm doing at the same time. So I'm a little behind.
Okay. You need me to go back?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
So
welcome to Safer. That's where I'm at. Welcome to Safer.
Okay. I'm sorry. So go to the welcome to Safer, go to Google, go to search. And then just put in Safer FMCSA, because it's bringing up the wrong one when you do it like that, which I didn't realize that because I've been doing it so often.
Okay, go to Google and type in what now?
Safer, and it all should say Safer FMCSA.
Yes.
I'll click that one, and then the very first
Safer Web Company Snapshot.
That's what you need, the snapshot.
So let me close this out. Oh, there it is. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you're gonna click on MC/MX number, tap that, and then you'll put in the 117.
I got that.
5674.
5674.
And anybody, if I get to moving too fast, let me know. Because once you do something all the time, you kind of find yourself clicking. All right, so we'll go here. So while we're right here, I just want to show you all what to look for when you are looking for them. And this is what is one you want to call when you're doing your cold calling. So you want to look for carrier. That's the entity type. You want to look for operating status, authorized for property. And that lets you know you want to call them. And then what lets us know as independent dispatchers if they are a good candidate for us is 1 power unit, 1 driver, 2 power units, 1 or 2 driver. And you may even see, 3 or 4, but no more than that. And then you may see 4 drivers. Now, if you see 1 power unit and 2 drivers, that's an even better option, because that means that they're going to be a team, which means that they are going to be running that truck almost 24 hours a day, or 2 and 4. We know that that's more than likely teams, and let's get it. But at least 1 and at least 1. So we know that those are the ones. So that's just, I don't know how much or how many we'll see, but I want to show you how one looks. Like I said, this is already an active carrier. So when we come here, we're looking for them. So we put our number in, it brings this up. We mosey on over here and we hit licensing and insurance. Now go ahead and click it. We don't worry about anything here. When we get here, we go up here to the right and we hit the drop down. And we want to select FMCSA register. This is going to bring up all the people who have applied for their authorities, who have changed addresses, all of the things. And we'll go through, which I'm about to show you how to find what you are looking for. So we hit FMCSA register and then go. And then it will bring us up all of these PDFs. You will select any one that you choose. I'll go to this one in hopes that I'll see some that signed up from a few weeks ago and that are closer to their 21 days, but that is not always the case. So we want to look for decisions and notices released, but in a certain way. So we will bypass, this one has 133 pages. Normally what we're looking at can be between the 50th on down. So we'll scroll, and I know this looks like a lot, but this is what we'll do when we're looking for carriers, when we want to find them on our own, when we want to build a list. Now, I'm going to show you this because I want your eyes to get acclimated. This is the way that what we're looking for is, but we want to make sure that we don't use FF. That's a freight forwarder, and we don't, they don't work directly with us or our carriers. So we keep going. And I'm going to show you something else. And you have to look at them good because some of them will look like it should be, but then it's a broker. So they don't have it separated all nice and neatly. It's kind of like they do the best that they can, but there's some that slip in. So what we're looking for is interstate common carrier except household goods. So this is what we want. Interstate. That means that they want to go, they don't want to stay regional. Intra, I do not even contact intra because it's too limited. You have a question, Sandra? No? Okay. Oh, and let me show you this now that you can see. If you do have a question and I'm speaking, just hit the raise hand right here and I'll get you right away. I got to remember, you can see us now. Okay, so that's what we want to look for. So what we'll do is I'll move from here because it's too many in between. So we'll be looking for MC, 1, 2, whatever, decisions and releases, interstate common carrier except household goods. So what we will do is, since they are not active or they may not have been approved yet, we will copy their names. And when we do this, oh, I'm sorry, again, you open up 2 of these. So we have this one up right here, and then you'll take, let me put these right beside each other because that's how it'll be when you open them up.
Do you have a dual screen set up?
Yeah, I have 2 screens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working with one.
And on this one. Yeah, because I'm looking at y'all and working on this one, and then I have so they'll be side by side or however you set it up. So you'll take this name that you copied, you'll go over here. Well, no, I have to do my second one because I did this one wrong. Google. Safer. Hopefully this is the right one for me. Okay, let me just close this and make me a new Google and close this one because I had one going yesterday. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sandra. Safer. I don't hear you. Take yourself off mute. Okay, so let me bring this one next to the one that we're using. All right, so I'll take that name You must still be on mute. Let me see if I can unmute you. I cannot.
Do you
There you
see?
go. Oh, there was somebody.
That was me. I was just trying to help out. Do you see anything that's red that looks like a microphone?
Oh, she'll probably come back.
I made it pick up the thing. Sorry.
Oops.
I won't say anything else.
It's all right. It's all right. She'll be right back. She's discovered it now, so I'm sure she knows how to get back. So well, I gotta wait for her to get back. So I'm gonna show you all this. Okay, I heard the sound. Are you back? I don't see anything. Okay, well, we'll just go back whenever she gets back in. But you'll take the name, you will paste it here, and we will search. So this one, there is no information for him. So we will just go back and just keep going down until we find one that works.
I need a quick pause. I need to open up a second page.
Okay.
Second. Thank you.
Wait, did I make sure that I had name?
Safer.
Textiles. Okay, did I look at you? Someone is trying to close the dialogue. Someone is trying to join. Oh, close the dialogue to help to let them in. Oh. Close. What does that mean? Stop presenting?
Okay.
To let them in? Hold on. Okay. Where is she? Because this thing told me to close the dialogue in order to let her in. This is doing the most. Okay, I can't do that. So let me get back to presenting. I'm not sure what's happening here, but it's okay. Go ahead, Melissa.
Okay. So that's all right. Mel, Sunny, either one is fine. Melissa hurts my heart a little bit, but
okay, Sunny. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I have two tabs open. They're both the Safer website. One is the PDF with the list. The other one is that where I'm going to go to licensing and insurance again.
No, just leave it where it is.
Leave it where it is. Okay.
Because that's where you're going to go back. So let me get back to presenting. I closed this out like this thing said to allow her back in, and it did not do that. So I'm not quite sure, but let's get back. Okay, so I'm going to do this one again because I'm not sure if I had it on name. So copy.
Marian,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. For the PDF, when you do get back to the PDF, can you magnify that just a bit on that PDF? Can you bring it up maybe to 125% or something?
Let me see if making it bigger here will make it bigger. Is that better?
Yep. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So get your name here. Come over here. Well, let me go back. Make sure that you have your tab on name. Paste. Okay, I didn't have it on name. So you go here, take a look at them. So they are a carrier and a broker. So they're going to be doing both. But either way, they are not authorized yet to go. So you'll leave this right here, and then you just go over here and just keep going.
Can I ask a question? Would that be an example of the TMS that you showed us yesterday? Would you put them in there as a prospect?
I would.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Perfect.
Perfect. And if you all want to, create lists, please, by all means. I'm not going to look for him because with the name of his, I already know that he's set up. He's already going to be a supply company, but he's going to work for someone. He's not going to need a dispatcher because he's very specific in what he's doing and how he's doing. See, I got the flooring and supply. He'll already be direct contracted with companies. So we want to look for, again, interstate common carrier, except household goods. And we want to do them by name because we have to remember they have not been processed yet. So looking for them under an authority is not going to do anything. So you come back here and you just repaste. I'm going to do this for a little bit, hoping that I find one that is ready, even though I showed you all how it looks, but also just to get us acclimated. Like this one, we know whether not authorized yet, they're going to be a good candidate. They got one power unit, but they're going to have 2 drivers, which means that they are possibly going to be a team, which means the more they run, the more they dispatcher. There you go. And she's back. What's the matter? It's still on mute. That's okay. You can type. You can type. Just type us up right here. Let me put right here. That's all right. And we're still looking at the how to find them. So I'll go back. I want to make sure you can see the chat. Even if you go, to chat with us on the phone, wherever you have the chat, we'll see it. I'll see it. So I'm gonna go back over it again, and I can see you. So I'm gonna look at you now while I ask you these questions, and you can give me a yes or no. So were you able to see the part how we got here to find them? Yes. Okay, perfect. And did you see where we clicked on the PDFs? My mute is shaded out. Okay. But were you able to see where we got to the PDF? Not to the PDF. Okay, so I'll do it again. It's really quick. So you was able to see how we got here. So we go to the PDFs by, well, I'll do it right here again. Let me open up a second one. Safer. Safer. Yes. We go here, which you saw this part. Go to the snapshot. We go here, and we put in an authority. Just give me a thumbs up if you got that part already. Okay, so we go here, we hit search, go to licensing and insurance. Okay, we go up here to the drop down, FMCSA register, go. That's how we got to the PDFs. No problem. So now I'm gonna close this out because now we are in the PDFs. So we are looking for, so let me check with you on this part too. We want to look for interstate common carrier except household goods. I want to give you the chance to write that down if you need to. All right. Okay, and then you will select one by the name. And then you go, you'll need up 2 screens. I think I told you that part. So you'll toggle back and forth between this one, you'll get the names, and then you'll go back to the original one. You'll make sure you have your name highlighted. Oh, I wish there was a way I could make this one bigger for y'all too. But it didn't even give me the option for that. And let me give me a thumbs up when you got it. Okay, so we'll toggle. So we went and got the name. You'll put the name here. You'll search. It'll bring you here. Click there. You see they're not authorized yet. You want to look for carrier. Right here, you want to look for authorized for property, but we see this one is not ready yet. And then we want to look for power unit and drivers. And we know that this one is more than likely going to be team drivers because they have one piece of equipment, but 2 drivers. Excellent candidates for us, because that means that the likeliness of them almost running 24 hours is good. But of course, you know, you'll have your times because along with the ELD and all of that, we will all have downtime. We will all have, so it'll be fine. So this is what we want to do. And like I said, I'm going to go back and forth between here for a little bit because there's another example. Oh, this one is moving services. So we won't contact him. Oh, let me run you back really quickly. We won't contact this one because they're very specific, which means they are already contracted or going to be contracted by specific companies. So they won't need a dispatcher. This one right here is the same way. Pacific Northwest Moving Services. That means that they are already contracted or they're going to be, and they're going to be doing what's called white glove services. And for you who haven't heard of white glove, that just means that they're going to be, they specifically want to move furniture. Like they want to operate like 2 men in a truck.
How can we tell again that they're not a good candidate?
What do you,
like you said, Pacific Northwest Moving wouldn't be a good candidate.
Right. They're very specific. When they have moving, that's pretty much saying I am a moving company.
Oh, moving.
Right here is saying I am a flooring and supply company. So they don't need a dispatcher. We want. And then
there's quarries moving services, so that's no bueno.
Right. So we don't, when they're very specific like that, thank you. We don't want to, we know that they're not a good candidate for us because they have the name set on what they're going to be doing. But when we see Girl Dad Trucking and Services, we're definitely going to look them up. Girl Dad, I'm gonna have to come from the bottom up. But there's something that I'm looking for that I want to show you all, and I'm sure I'm going to run into one. And I'll talk about it while we're looking. But I'm going to play with this for a little bit so we just start getting acclimated. And if you all, you know, are doing it, that's fine as well. But I'll talk about it. Hopefully I'll see one. But sometimes you'll put that in, and right here we'll bring a scroll, like just a whole bunch of them. All you'll do is go back here and look for Phoenix, Arizona. You know, you'll look for the specific of where it is, and then you'll go through that list and find the one that you're looking for. So we'll click here. Again, same thing. Carrier, not authorized yet. 1 power unit, 1 driver. They are good candidates for us to call. Oh, and let me check out one more thing. So we'll say one more thing. Is when we're building our list, we'll go right here that we know that it takes up to 21 days. So that's what I was showing y'all yesterday. I'll put this in the hold. I'll put my little notification to contact them back on. They did this on the 14th. So I'll contact them back on maybe the 11th or so of next month. And then I'll write on my calendar, you know, how many, you know, I'll make my list of all the people that need to be called back around that time. And then I'll put on my calendar, check and cold call 10, 11. And then that'll let me know to go back to my list and just call everybody that I put in there. Well, check first to see if they are now authorized and then call them.
Do you use the TMS?
I do. I use it to keep it. I put all of my files and all of my information in there because I don't want to, it's a cloud base and I don't want to eat up all the stuff on my computer, the memory. Excuse me, on my computer. Sorry, y'all. And again, if you all want to get that, I'll put the link. It's $29.99 a month. And I'll show you all how to use it if you all want to get there, and I'll show you all through the group and on here too. So yes, so that is how you will find your own leads, to look for your own carriers, and don't buy those lists. Because as you see, even if I give you all leads, or if I were to sell a list, this is just me because I'm just honest like that. if I sold you a list, that's all that's going to be on there. The next person is getting their own leads, like that. But that's not what's happening, with the things that are out here. So I just kind of show you how to do your own, get your own, because the time, again, the process is not going to change. Going through here, creating your list, we still got to wait on them to be ready. And also you'll find that once you start, you see that you do not need a new carrier every week, every month, because there's a lot to do with just one. And then, but when you do get to looking, you already know that. I feel a little less lost than yesterday. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm trying to bring it together today. Like the first couple of days, it's just so much information, so many examples. Now we're going to look at it. This is what we do. So next week, we're going to actually be doing it. So this is how you will find your leads. Hold on, you will need this information. Even if everybody comes to you, if there ever comes a time you become a broker or a freight agent and you're looking, and here's the thing about freight agency and brokerage. You will need all the time because you are the one with the loads. So you can come on here and just gather them. But as an independent dispatcher, there's only a certain amount that we'll need before we need to hire. And that I will say will be 5, because at that time you're running them, you're watching them all by yourself. You can add more. At that point, you can start hiring, however you want to grow your business. But as a broker and an agent, you don't have to, get anybody. You have work for everybody that you get. So you just line them up accordingly, and you'll operate your business. Another thing that I want you all to think about while we're on the subject of getting your carriers is what services you want to offer and what you want your percentage to be. Those are, another couple of things that I can't tell you, but I can just tell you what I do and why I do. I don't charge my percentage on the equipment, because I've told you all that they still have to pay for that truck, maintenance that truck, fuel that truck, and they still have all of the licensing and insurance that they have to keep up with. I just charge them for the load. My price includes finding them a load and the services. So I charge 8%. That's it. And I'm going to find the loads. I'm going to do all the paperwork, submit everything over to your factoring company if I have to do that, fight for your detention pay, your delay, your TONU, just all of the things, all of the office things. And all I need for you to do is submit me the BOL. But 8% is my limit, because you all may decide that you want to do those things. Plus you want to file and keep up with their IFTA taxes every quarter and all of that. I don't choose to do all of that. So you will know, you decide what services you want to offer, and then you price your business how you want to do it accordingly. So this is how we find them. Find them. Now we are going to look at the load board. So we find loads for them. So we've now found them, and we are going into a contractual agreement. We said yes. We sent our dispatcher agreement, and we are now working for them. Wait, let me go back. So we find them. We interview them. You contact me. Hey, how you doing? My name is Marian. I got your information from the FMCSA website. That is one of the first things that we want to say when we contact a potential carrier from the FMCSA website. The reason is, once that authority and USD OT number goes active, the phone calls begin to rain crazy on them, with people trying to sell them stuff, people trying to make them go with them, and they do not know that they do not have to do that. They do not have to go with those. Those people are not related to the FMCSA website at all. They are just, I'm not going to call them scammers, but they are business people who are trying to hurry up and bogart you with things that you don't know that you don't need or have to go forward with. So as an independent dispatcher, We are calling, and at that point, their annoyance is grouping us all into those categories. So when we call them and we say, hey, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is that we say. Let me just pull up one of these businesses, for example. Good morning. Let me see if she had her name, Girl Dad. Sharana. I'm going to think that says Sharana. Good morning. May I speak with Sharana Robertson? This is she. Hello, my name is Marian. I got your information from the FMCSA website. I'm calling to see if you are in the market for a dispatcher. That way, they don't hang up on you so quickly, because if you start saying, hey, good morning, first of all, if you say, good morning, may I speak with Sharana? She's going to instantly, you're going to get her attention because you call her by her first name. And then you say, hey, I'm giving you a call from Marian's dispatch service, and they think you, but if you snatch their attention by saying, I got the information from the FMCSA website, they're more inclined to listen, because I know that I'm working with the FMCSA website. You are identifying where you got my information from and not coming to me as a sales person. Okay, what is it? And then you quickly say, I'm just asking, calling to see if you're in the market for a dispatcher. It's not a hard sell. If they say no, thank you for your time, and hang up. We don't have to do that, because they know yes or no. There's no need to try to press them. Another thing, so once you get past that, then they say, so you get yes, I do need a dispatcher. They'll either say, what do you all do, or they'll just lead out. Yeah, I have 2 power onlys and 1 box truck, and I'm willing to go over the road. Let me pull up what you're going to need. Well, I'm going to post, when we start doing it, I'm going to post exactly what you need to say, and when you need to say it. So right now I'm just going to leave it at example mode. So you go into it. So they'll tell you, yes, I'll be ready on, they'll tell you the dates. But if you do not have one that is like really open with that, once you prompt them with the first question, they'll go into the next thing. So you'll start saying, when are you looking to start going? Are you CDL or non-CDL? Are you willing to go over the road, or do you want to stay local? Oh, I can't even think of all the things right now. But you'll go into the things. Is there any reason? Do you know what you want your rate per mile to be? Sometimes they'll say, I don't know, I'm not sure what that is. When they say that, I just really go basic, and I'll say, what do you need the truck to pay for you? And then that's when they'll say, oh, my mortgage, the truck payment, the insurance. They'll start, because a lot of times, even like us, we don't really know the verbiage. So you have to say something else that lets us know, oh, okay, like, oh, let me tell you all this one. This is a good example. You'll get a broker that might say, what's your capacity? What? That just means, where are your carriers from, and what's their equipment? But the verbiage, they speak differently. So you'll ask that, and then they'll tell you all of the things. And a lot of the times, especially with the box truck carriers, they'll tell you, I went to prison, I'm a fed, I'm not a fed, I'm a convicted felon. They'll tell you, which is cool. We are okay with that. They can either volunteer to tell you, or you're gonna have to ask. And you can.
There's a lot of people in the trucking industry, because it's an open field for people who have been convicted. So,
correct. But they don't know that. We'll just go here for a second. Until somebody is a convicted felon, there's a lot that is against them, so they're not quite sure. So you reassure them. If they tell you, then you reassure them, and you let them know, I appreciate the information. That helps me be more effective when I'm searching for you. That just lets me know not to send you to a port or a military base. You can still have a successful business. I just know not to send you there. If they do not disclose, then when you get everything out, and you can say, okay, well, I have a question that I need to ask you. Is there any reason that I should not book you at a port or a military base? Sometimes they know what that means, and they'll just say yes. And all you say is, that's fine. That just helps me be more effective in working for you. And sometimes they'll be like, wait, what? Which is, and then you may have to say, are you a convicted felon? And if they're hesitant, you can lead out and you can say, it does not keep you from running a successful business. It just helps me to know where to send you. That's it. It never has to be uncomfortable or stay uncomfortable, but we need to know in order to be effective. And you assure them that they can still run a successful business and that the conversation is just between you and I, but in order for me to do all that I can and maximize every opportunity in your business, just let me know. And you all will find your words, you'll find your verbiage, what's comfortable for your mouth, but something along the lines, because we never want to discourage. We just need to know so I can do everything, because there's nothing worse than, which I had that experience, well, not with a prisoner. I mean, not with a convicted felon, but with somebody who wasn't from the country. So we booked the load through TQL. My carriers are from Jamaica, but one of them, the owner operator, he was born here, but he's Jamaican. And then his people he had working for him, they're from Jamaica, but they've been here. They got the cards, their green cards, and things, but they can work and all of that. So we got a load from TQL. I asked TQL, is there anything that my driver is going to need to get onto this military base? Oh no, he doesn't need anything as long as he's not a convicted felon. They're out of Orlando. The load needed to be dropped off in Jacksonville, out of 45, 2 hours away. We delivered to the military base. They say, you are not from the US. We need to see your credentials. So he ended up having to drive all the way back to Orlando, get his green card information and his work permit information, and drive back to it. I hit TQL across the head for $700. We're doing the 700 that you originally said, and we're doing 700 again because he had to go back home, and I documented the conversation, and he had to come back. So it'll be a smooth 14. Thank you so much. Or we will leave it on the steps of the port, and somebody can figure it out. Needless to say, they ran us the coinage because they were in the wrong. I ask you, is there anything, because the broker is supposed to know. And speaking of what a broker should know, if you ever contact a broker, the broker should know the information precisely. Never let a broker tell you when you ask about the weight, if they do not disclose it. Oh, it's around 10,000. It's crap. They're supposed to know it's 9,800 pounds. It's 8,000 pounds. It's 8,310 pounds. They're supposed to know the exact date. When they start saying, oh, it's around, that means that they're trying to go cheap. They're using the equipment that it probably shouldn't be on to keep the money. And that is a no. It needs to be definite, because there is nothing worse than your carrier picking up a load, and the carriers will know. If they know that their max weight is around 8,000, 8,900, when they load that truck up and they get in there, they're going to say, this don't feel right. I know what this is. And a carrier will be in trouble if he moves that load and he gets pulled over by DOT and they do their weight thing. It's not on the broker at that point. It's on the carrier. So it also, if your carrier gets somewhere, let them know, this doesn't feel right and this feels heavier. And even if your carrier can carry it. So let's say, for example, we got a CDL driver. He got a 26-foot box or a dry van. When I contacted the broker told me that the load was 33,000 pounds. And it should take up, let's go with a 53-foot dry van. So it's 33,000 pounds and it should take up 18 feet of space. Well, once the carrier gets loaded, they realize it's 48,000 pounds and it took up 40 feet of space. Well, guess what? They will not move. I will contact that broker and he will either increase us to where we want to be if he wants it gone, or he can take it off our truck. Because they will try to get over, and it's not okay, because that carrier still has that wear and tear. He still has to feel that weight. He still may have to at some point shift that stuff around. You're going to pay him because he has to, there's things that he has to do. So watch for those types of things. And yeah, that's it. So when you talk to them, you ask your questions, they will, this is getting carriers. When you interview them, they're interviewing you. Interview them as well, because you want to ask questions, because you want to try to feel them out like they're feeling you out. And if they are resistant, or if you ask them certain questions and they get upset, you're documenting that in your mind. Because I can choose to say at the end of this interview, well, I don't have any openings at this time, so I will keep you in my network, or keep you on file, or see if there's anyone in my network that will be able to assist you. Or at this time, I will not be a good fit for you and the needs that you have. And that's just, in case they say, I want to be home every day, and this is what I want to make. And we know as the dispatcher the real information. So we listen, and then we run it back. So you let me know that you have a 26-foot drive, a 26-foot box truck. You're a non-CDL. You do not want to go over the road, and you do not want to make any less than $250 a mile. Yes, yes, yes. So now, because now we listened, my 3: listen, educate, advocate. So we listened to everything that they said. Now we educate them. So as a new authority, non-CDL box truck driver, it is going to be challenging the first 90 days of moving you and finding consistent movement. Right now, the industry, you said you wanted $2.50 a mile. The industry, what the industry is offering, what the market has available right now, is top dollar is $1.52 a mile. Are you set on that $2.50? Yes, I don't want any less. Okay, then we're going to the next thing. You say here, with me already mentioning the challenges that is going to be the first 90 days of running your business, that you are you adamant about being home every day, or is going over the road an option? I want to be home every day. All right. So we've gone through it. I let you know, you let me know your needs. I let you know the offerings of the industry. At this moment, with your needs and what is offered in the industry, it would be unfair to me for me to move forward with you, knowing that I cannot effectively move you in the first 90 days. Thank you so much for your time. And you go. You put it on me. Blame it on me. Say it's my fault. I will take that, but you are not giving me anything to work with. I have educated you on the reality of the industry that you want to get into, and you want to sit on that. So the interview process works both ways. We know that we just cannot do that, so we don't have to take you on. We never want to have ourselves in a situation where we take a carrier on out of being desperate, because that's when we're going to really be crying and really have a headache and trying to figure out how to get rid of them. But if we interview them correctly, now the interview process is not 100%, because it's an interview. They are giving us the representative. That's why we have our dispatcher agreements, and we have in our dispatcher agreements what we're going to do, what we're going to deal with, what is a deal breaker, because this is what you want from me. This is what I'm going to provide for you. And this is the agreement. When you veer off, or you completely dismantle what we've discussed, then it's going to be over between us. So what I do is, I get them. We found them on the FMCSA website. We got our yes. We interviewed. We got our yes. So yes, I have decided that I do have an opening for you. You told me the date that you want to start is going to be next Tuesday. Well, today is Wednesday. So I would like to move forward, but before we do that, can you allow me 24 to 48 hours to review areas of opportunity in the places that you told me you'd like to go? Because in the interview, they'll be able to tell you, well, I want to stay in the Southeast, or I want to, so they've told you. Before you completely agree, you allow yourself 24 to 48 hours to take a look at the spot market, which is what is called on the load board, or whatever your resources are. You might have a direct connect. You call and say, hey, I'm thinking about taking on this dry van broker friend. What you got? What is it looking like? They want to start next week, or you can go on the load board, which will be practical for the majority of us. So you say you interview them now. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. So you say, all right, will you allow me 24 to 48 hours to take a look at areas of opportunity, or look for consistent movement in the areas that you want to be in? They say, all right, okay, thank you. No problem. So I hang up. Right now at 11:25, I am going to get on the load board. And I'm going to put in whatever their equipment is and what they're talking about in their area. So I'm going to, let me see. Let's do a box. So let's say they are out of Georgia. Wait a minute. They're out of Atlanta. Let's see if I got to do this differently. Yeah. So they're out of Atlanta. And they want to go to, let's say, Texas. They want to go to the Texas area. Dallas. We wanted to go up that way and come on back down. SB. OL Vans and Standards. We'll go there. So both, let's say it's look back 24 hours. We want to look for, well, we'll just leave it on both. And we want to lead out, what's today, the 23rd? So let's see what's happening today through tomorrow. And let's search. So I'll go on here now and I'll start looking and I'll say, okay, it's looking good. You know, $1,800 from Atlanta. I'll do my calculations because they told us that they want to make $1.50 a mile. We'll just use this one here. So $1.50. And so we have something from Atlanta to Dallas. Let's say they leave out of Cumming. Oh, just 22,000 pounds. So we'll do this like it's a drive in. So we'll look here. The miles. Trip 784 miles. So let's say they want $1.50 a mile plus 74. What's the, oh, so let's look at here. So right now there's no deadhead, which is awesome. So they're going to get all the profit. So they're going to leave from Atlanta and they're going to go to Texas. So this is 784 miles. So let's say they want $2 a mile. $2 times 784. That's $1,568. So this is $1,800. I would not negotiate that because you see how much over it is from what I need. So let's say, for example, they want $2 a mile. There's no deadhead. So $2 a mile for 784 miles is $1,568. They're paying $1,800. No need for me to negotiate. You're already doing wonderful. So I'm not even going to ask you for 100 or 200 more because you're already 1,568, 1,800 minus 1,568. You're already $232 over what we already want. And that's including my fee and what the carrier wants. So I would not negotiate that. I would go, oh, let me do the whole process. Check the credit. I'm going to use tabs. Not yes, tabs. TFS. I'm gonna see if this company is good for it. Client zone. Let's roll. Credit check. I'm gonna go over here. I'm going to see get their authority. 124-5301. Can y'all pay? No, y'all can't. See? Almost too good to be true. So Sun City, can I
You
pay?
gave us a login for that TAFs, right?
I did.
Okay, I'm looking for it.
Okay. It's the one, credit 01 is the password, and TAFs credit, I think, is the login. So you always want to check that credit. You're like, oh, that look good. That sounds good. But let me see, can they pay? Nope, denied for purchase. So y'all are not on the up and up. So guess what? Nope. Don't be moving with them. Oh, I'm sorry. What's this one? So let's go on down. Let's see another company. Let's try to find somebody legit. So Dunwoody, still good. 17 miles day ahead. They're paying $1,400, 649 air miles. Well, let me go to something less difficult. Coming, 39 miles, which is still good. So they're paying, the offer is $1,800. It's been on here for 10 minutes. The trip is, so we want $2 a mile. $2 times, how many miles is this one? 840. 1680, which is still fine. So we're not going to worry about negotiating. Let me go check your credit, J Reynolds at, so 196502. You want to check that credit? Ryan Transportation, can you pay? Yes, you can. So I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at Ryan Transportation because you know I'm in my 24 to 48 hours. I want to see if I can see something for you. So I'll write them down, or I'll put them on my notepad. Okay, this is what I was able to see in the 11 o'clock hour for you. So then I'll wait, and then I'll check it out again, 2 o'clock. See what's happening, because I know the load board's getting ready to get skimpy. Loads for today is not really happening. So that's what I'll do for today, because I only interviewed you at 11 o'clock, in the 11 o'clock hour. So I'll check these two today. Then in the morning, when the load board is fresh, I will look again for all of the places that you say you want to go. I'll look at 8 o'clock in the morning, then I'll look at 10:30 in the morning, and then I'll look at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Once I see the consistency, I check the credit of the company, because I just want to know, even if I choose to go with these paid people or I see other loads from them, I already know that they're on the up and up, even though I'll still check the credit every time. Now let's talk a little bit about the credit checking. Credit for brokers on the load board does not go in the way that credit goes, like when you mess your credit up. Messing up a credit for brokers is when a broker does not pay, when a broker give you a hard time. Those are dings that knock down your credit score. How you handle people. You said you was going to pay in 30 days. Did you pay it in the 30 days? You say you're going to pay in 45 days. Did you pay in 45 days? When people report a company for not doing right, not paying, that's how this score goes down, along with money. But sometimes you'll see, let me show you. And always check the credit. Never trust this right here, because the DAT load board does not update as often as it should when it comes to their score. So right now, today, they're 95, all is well, but next week you might look at them and if they had any complaints in the last couple of weeks, this may have updated and gone down to a 90 or 89, which leads me into factoring. So let's talk about, so we got the load. We're working with them, right? They have, yeah, go ahead, Tony.
I'm sorry, I had to step away for a quick second. Can you repeat those login details? I could hear you, but I didn't write it down.
Okay, for the TAFs?
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's going to be, hold on, let me pull it up on my phone because it's automatic on my computer.
Okay,
Let
sorry
me
about
make
that.
sure I get it right. Oh, you all right? You all right? I told y'all if I move, if I get too swift, make me run it on back. I got you. So it is going to be, the site is, the site is TAFs.com. And then you'll go to hit client portal.
Mm-hmm.
And then the username is going to be TAFs Credit. TAFS credit. And then the password, all lowercase, credit 01.
01 in the words or?
No, I'm sorry, credit, the number is 01.
Okay.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, a password could be real good.
Right. Okay, so now we're going to go into factoring. So let's say we got him. We're working with him. We rolling. We know what's going on. They have a factoring company. So you ask their factoring company, like my factoring company, well, not mine, my carrier's factoring company, if the credit score is below 90, they won't factor. They're really strict on it. They only factor a 90 or above. If there is a carrier that has a 90 or below, but a broker and company that has a 90 or below, and you go and check their credit, but they have the money, you know that they can pay. So at that point, you can ask your carrier, listen, they're not factorable because they got that 89 for whatever reason, but they are still on the up and up. They still have the money. Do you want to use their quick pay option? Because the load is still good, and you'll only ask your carrier if it's worth it. So say we went here, well, this one is kind of worth it, but say it was $2,100. You already know that the carrier has to pay you 8%, and we know that quick pay is going to be at least 3%. So that's going to be 11% of his profit that he needs to pay out. However, this load he wants $2 a mile. Times 840 equals, so that's 1680. 1680. So that's what he wants, but the load is paying 2,100 minus 1680. So that's $420 over what we need. I would definitely ask my carrier, listen, do you want to go ahead and do quick pay? Because they're already covering me, you, and a few tanks of gas. So it'll take the 11% out, but he'll still be good. He won't even miss it. So if you see somebody that's in good standings, they're just not at a 90, and the factoring company, if your carrier uses one, does not take below a 90, still take the load because it's worth it and it's covering. But if it's, just paying the 1680 that you need, then you definitely want to find out, do you want to get 11% knocked off of what you got going on? So just little things like that. And then we'll come over here and we take a look. So we're moving. We got him. We're rolling. The credit is on the up and up. We're going. We've signed up with the company. We got the rate confirmation, signed off on everything. We got the BOL sent over to the carrier. He has done what he needs to do. He delivers the load. Now, once he gets that BOL signed, where it needs to end, he will immediately send a picture, send a PDF, whatever you all agree that you're using, get you that BOL immediately. Once you receive the BOL, the bill of lading, you will immediately, this starts payment everywhere, immediately send it to the broker. The broker is where the load starts, payment starts, and where payment ends and begins again. So you send it over to them. If your carrier has a factoring company, the second thing you do will send the rate confirmation and the BOL to the factoring company. The factoring company at that point will do what they do. They will contact the broker and they will take over, take the BOL. So now the broker, instead of 30 days, the broker has to pay the carrier. That broker now has that time to pay the factoring company. And with 24 to 48 hours, the factoring company is going to go ahead and pay the carrier. So we are now done. Now that BOL is between the factoring company and the brokerage, which is a good thing for the carrier, because if the brokerage does not do right in 30 days, a factoring company has their lawyers and their monies, and all they would get with them. We are now done. We have been paid and we are finished. But that's still between the carrier, the brokerage, and the factoring company. Us as a dispatcher, we have already been paid. And this is the process for those who have a factoring company. The factoring company that my carrier uses, when my carriers get paid in 24 to 48 hours, I get paid in 24 to 48 hours. Now, for your carriers who do not have a factoring company, you will invoice them. I use Square. I'm going to show you all how it looks and why I like it. So this is also in the group too. I don't know what that was, but this is the invoice. This is how it looks on Square. So you will add the customer, you will add the line item. That's why I like it. I didn't open mine up because it got too many people personal information on it, so I just screenshotted what we have. So you'll put in who you're billing. So my carrier, and then the line items. You are able to put the information from the load, make this recurring, but we won't if you're doing percentage. You'll make it recurring if you decide that you want to do that flat rate, which I don't do it because I want all that I earned. What is due, send immediately or whenever. So this part right here, for my carriers who do not have one, I will invoice them on Wednesday. So we worked last week. I got all my 8% lined up. I will invoice them on Wednesday for everything that they owe me from last week. I will put the information in, and I will have it due, and I will put in there on Friday at 9 a.m. this week, Friday. That's just what I do. You'll find your own way. So you put all of the things on here. I really like it because I can put the attachments. So I can attach all of the BOLs, all of the work that I did, so you can see, and then I can put 8%, 8%, 8% on each. So they can also keep this in their records, because this is a way of their record keeping, and for you. So I can put the order number of it. I can put the picture of it, and we can all talk about what my 8% was. I can also submit this to my tax preparer and show all the work that I did all year. So it works a whole lot of ways, and you can use this in place of a business bank account because this separates your funds. So here is how one looks, because I just created it because that's how long ago I did it for them last year. So bill 2, and that's the name, that's who my company was. The invoice ID, my little generic, I appreciate your business. But here is what I did. I don't know if the next one shows the pictures, but dispatcher service, 8%, and this was the load that we took. And this is my percentage of how much the loads were. So see how I can put all of everything that I did and what my amount is that they should pay me, what my 8% was of their loads. Then here you'll see it again, and here's all the pictures. So this was the load that I took, this was the load number, and this is the picture of the load. So each thing that I have here, and I did this when I was first doing, I was doing it part-time. So in 2 days, this is what we made, like a day and a half, because they still had the ELD. So that's how I knew. Remember when I told y'all I quit the job, when my husband said, as soon as I had the amount to be able to pay for my load boards and pay for what I needed for my business, and my load board was on $99. I was out. That's why. But this is another reason why I like Square. You have all of the proof. You can keep it for your records. They can put it in their records, and it's one-stop shop. We can all submit this to our tax preparers and be done and keep it separate. And Square also has a debit card. So if you want to do that and get that, you definitely, it's an option. So I think I did this same picture like twice, but that is it. And that is the total of what they had to pay. That's everything together. So, and that's Square. www.square.com. You can set up your business account. And then this is how it looks when it's finished, when it's sent over. It has my emblem, my logo, and it's done. I don't know why I did it so many times. Oh, probably because I was doing it first, and then I realized that once it completed, it had everything in one place for me. And again, maybe I was more than 1 week. But yes, that's how it looks. This is also in the group, and this is a credit card authorization, which I have connected to the dispatcher agreement. So for those who do not pay, if you do not pay me on Friday by 9 a.m., and we have not had a conversation or reasoning, then at 9:15, I will contact you because I know how to, you want to be called, text, whatever, how to communicate to you that we have not taken care of our invoice. If it has not been taken care of by 10 a.m., then where you are is where you're going to be until you have taken care of me. Or whatever you all agree to. That's just what I do. They know I'm serious about it. You will figure it out yourself. You will be stuck, but you haven't handled anything for me to work with you from the load you on forward. So, but you'll do it how you do it. And I wanted to show you all that. I'll also show you dispatcher, not dispatcher, broker rate confirmations, which I should have did it a minute ago, but I forgot. So this is how a rate confirmation looks. Can I make this bigger? Can y'all see this? Actually, no. Why didn't this come up?
I still see the square.
Right. I still see. Okay, so let me back over here. I'm gonna see why this. Y'all see that? No.
I can see the PDF.
Oh, why won't this picture show? Okay, let me share differently. Let me see if it'll stop presenting. Let me do it different because I want y'all to see this a window.
Her screen freeze. Oh yeah, something happened.
Where'd Marian go?
I don't know. She dropped off. It looked
Oops.
like her screen has froze up or something.
Oh, now Sandra's gone.
Oh, where everybody
Okay,
going?
Tony, it's just me and you.
Yeah, well, we can ready to talk about the load board. Let's get a screen share.
I wonder. Okay.
Oh, there she go.
Hey,
Hey,
Hey.
I think he's coming back on.
we was about to start running the class ourselves.
Yeah, the whole neighbor, the power went out. And then
Yeah, you
Oh.
could tell like your screen froze. Like, oh Lord.
I hear. Okay, I'm here. So let me put this back on.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
I'm tweaking my phone as I go.
you got it. You got
Doing
it.
it.
So we're gonna go back to a Raycom. Sorry about that, y'all. I couldn't do anything about it, but still. So let's share. So we're gonna look at the rate confirmation. So here we go. Hopefully, and I hope we're still recording. Oh, we are. Well, all right. Great.
Yeah, that the recording didn't stop. I did look.
Okay. So this is a rate confirmation. I want you all to be able to take a look at it so you are familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
So here are, if y'all ever show anybody y'all, make sure you cross out the money part, because that is the part that is someone. Oh, okay. Good morning, Akeem. So well, I thought he came in. No. But if y'all ever show anybody's, or if you all teach anybody at any point or whatever, make sure you cross out the money, because people pay differently, whatever season it was or what the load was, the equipment. So you don't really want to show that part. So here is the bill to, so over here on the right hand side, on the left hand side is the okay, I think he's saying good morning, Akeem.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah,
So
good
we're looking at a rate confirmation right now, which
Okay.
I'm sure you are familiar with. So, okay, when you are over here is the name of the company and all the information on it. Bill to information, that's for the company. So over here, that's the person that I worked with, their information. But what we want to look for or look at and make sure that we see when we get, oh, is this allowing me to enlarge it? No, close that. I thought it was something that was helping me make it bigger, but they did not.
At the top, that look next to the trash can, to the left of the trash can, at the top of that screen. See the heart up there at the top.
Oh, it's a screenshot, so I might not be able to do that.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Because I was the only way I was able to clear the information off.
I got
Okay,
you.
so we want to look for, which they'll have on here because you'll be giving them all this information. So that's the driver's name, the dispatcher phone number, which is me. So this one was I need to pull up another one too. It's got more information on it, but when I pull it up, I'll close out the recording and put it back on because it can show everybody. So this one, they did delivery to 5 stops. It had 5 stops, but the payment was probably something good. But you want to look for the pallets. So we discussed it. You want to look at, it was 5,000 pounds. This is true. The commodity, which is what we were carrying, was door frames. And then the payment was the payment, what it was. Well, there's the payment up there if you look closely. So we did 5 stops, which were not too far from each other. And they had on here with this one, I definitely gonna have to show you the other one, but normally they will have on them what the carrier needs, how much they pay for detention, how much they pay for layover, those sorts of things. So let me get this other one up and show y'all. Hold on just a second. But this is just showing how you want to look into this too, because when I got this one, I knew that it was going to be stops. So what I had to do was break down how many stops for what we wanted per mile to make sure that the total amount was going to be something worth doing. Because what you don't want to do is see something on the load board or wherever you're finding the information, and you might see something for $4,800. That sounds really wonderful, but then it has 32 stops, and they are several miles or states in between each other. So by the time you break down those stops, and that $4,800, it's $1.02 a mile or something like that. So you want to watch, because you will get you can get got if you don't watch. So let me close this out and pull up that other one I want to show y'all and figure out how I can show it without putting it on here. So hold on a second. And if anybody has any questions, any concerns, let me pull up this other one. Everybody good? I'm so glad you got your mic working, Sandra. You've been working, but it's worth it. I close this. Stop presenting. Stop presenting. How has your morning? How was your morning, Akeem? Do you work on your business in the morning? Any updates on your dispatcher?
Yes. So yeah, she's back and she's handling things now. But for me, is like I said, trying to understand the whole process so that in case I get a situation where she's not available, abruptly, I can still get loads and still send the drivers on their way.
Gotcha.
Case in point, yesterday, one of the drivers, he delivered the load. He got the BOL signed and everything, but from the warehouse to when the warehouse put one of the pallets in there, they didn't put it properly.
Then secure it.
At the drop-off location, they refused to take it out. So the driver was worried if he should leave the trailer there, in case it gets stolen and everything. I was like, well, your documentation was signed off. He was like, yeah. And I'm like, well, your job is done. You drop it off, and I said, if they didn't sign the BOL, now you're worried. But they signed you off. Whatever they do with their trailer at that point is basically
on them.
On them. So you got the paperwork that said you did the job that you needed to do. You're out.
That's it. That's it. I hear that. Y'all, it be a trip out here. And again, I'm so grateful that Akeem is in this class so we can, really hear we got the dispatcher's point of view, but as a, owner, operator, as the business owner, y'all have headaches too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Unexpected headaches too. So
yes.
And that's, as a dispatcher, I guess that's one thing you have to look forward to is, because most owners and most business people, not all of them, especially people just coming in the business, not everybody understands how everything works in terms of, factoring, for example. I have conversed with a business owner that I just started, and he was like, well, why should I pay them when I've not gotten paid? And I'm like, because you're running a business and the people that work for you don't really care whether you've gotten paid or not. And I was like, you have to use a factoring company. And he was like, well, I don't want to pay them 2 or 3% off of the top. And I'm like, that's part of running a business.
That's right.
It comes at a cost.
It comes at a cost. And that's one of the things, and I'm glad you touched on it too, because my first carrier that I ever had, they were a hot shot, but they had some money. So I had to let them know. They were like, we don't want factoring. We don't want quick pay. We are fine. We're good with getting paid every 30 days. And I said, that is really wonderful, but I get paid weekly. Because I do the work right now. So he's absolutely correct. When you decide that you want to get paid, and when you as the owner has decided that I don't want any money taken off, when you take me on as a dispatcher, you need to include me in your house note and whatever else that you pay while you're waiting, because we do the work now. So we need to be, you decided that you wanted to wait 30 days. But in my contractual agreement, I say every week, I'm going to need you to run me a little something because I ran my time up, my pressure up, because there's a lot that we do and it can get so. And that is also another reason why I do percentage. Pay me for what I did. I'm not looking for you to give me any extra. I'm not looking for you to pay me even if I didn't work, because there's people out here who operate like that. It's just not me. But you'll find your way, because again, it is your business. But he is absolutely spot on with more experience. And then even as a dispatcher, sometimes, although we take care of everything, sometimes a broker will get beside themselves and the company owner will have to come. I only had that problem once where I was working back and forth with a broker and they just did not want to give. And my owner operator was like, you know what? Let me talk to him. So we got on three-way and he said, listen, you need to tell us what to do or we're going to leave this on the ground and you can figure out what you got going on. Hold on, can you give us 5 minutes to call you back? We it's like, okay, because as the dispatcher, we can get firm, but we cannot get nasty because we still represent that owner operator. But the owner operator, oh, he can say whatever he wants. Because if we mess up as the dispatcher, we mess up that company. That authority and the name of that company is a wrap. So we firm, yes. Problem solve, yes. But when they start, going left, then that's when you have to, it's not going to be often either that you have to get your owner involved. Because part of the things we can handle, we got it. But when they start speaking reckless, you let your owner operator know, hey, I've done all that I can with these people. Now they're saying that they're not going to do nothing. And, they don't care what I say. Then you got to get them and you say, they're going to care what I say. Because this my truck, this my stuff. So it's not very often, but they do have their moments. And everybody has a day. Y'all remember that too. Everybody has a day. Everybody has a moment. And it's just going to be, it's life. But we can never, if we can help it, take it personally. That's one of the main things. I'm trying to find this BOL so y'all can look at it. Actually, I'm about to show y'all a BOL because I think I showed y'all a Raycon. Here we go, right here. I'm gonna send it to myself. I'm gonna show it to y'all in the way they mind. They old. What was going on at the time is not what's happening now. Everybody thinking about their DocuSign and stuff. How you gonna be able to fill out these rate confirmations and things when you're going to power?
I already have DocuSign on my computer.
Oh, you good? Okay. Let me show y'all this. Okay, y'all. Most of y'all, you're probably gonna be prepared. It's nothing. It's not a whole lot of things that you have to get. It's just a whole lot of things that you have to do and remember and make sure, especially credit check. So earlier we were talking about credit check. You'll catch it on the replay again, but I was showing them the importance of credit checking and how, some of these companies, they don't be on the up and up. Have you? Well, we already talked about it. Massive 3PL. So yeah. And they will hold on to it. Some of them will fight you tooth and nail. like they're not wrong. Okay, so here is, let me show y'all the W-9 too. So you will, I used to keep a W-9 in my packet, but then I realized that they change. Man, I'd like another rundown on how to check credit on tasks. You'll have to catch the replay and just watch it a few times again. But we're going to look at it more anyway, because next week we're going to be doing this. So you'll definitely be rolling and doing it. And hopefully, your company has a factoring company, but if not, you just make sure that they know your needs and what you require, because you're not going to be waiting for them to wait for somebody else, which is why I encourage everybody, when you're getting into this, especially if you're purchasing a truck, to have a cushion. You need to be able to take care of the things, like Akeem was saying. This is part of business. You have to be ready and properly prepared. So that's why I encourage research so hard.
The power must have went out again over there.
Oh. She went out again. Gotcha.
They don't want me to be great today. I will not be defeated. So let's look at this BOL. This is what you will get from from the window. The broker to send over to the carrier. Excuse me. So this is how a bill of lading looks. So this right here is the rundown. This is what was in there. The colors, the sizes, all of the things. So the carrier, once they get to the final destination, this has to be signed in order for payment to start going. As you see, when you look at this, there is no money on it. Whoever is at wherever the destination is, that's who signs it. And they sign it in front of, they sign both of the carrier signs. Here's the carrier saying that he signed off and left it with whoever this is at the place, the receiver and the carrier. Correct.
Right. And they pick up and drop off.
Correct. And one of the, well, I think he had sent it to me sideways and then he resent it to me another way. But I am grateful that there aren't any monies on here. And it's probably the reason, because some owners, they have a driver and they may be paying the driver a weekly amount or percent, whatever. So this goes to the driver. So whatever their agreement is, like my as you see, I did not discuss any payments with the driver that my owner operator hired. Go ahead.
So quick question. So the driver does not need the rate confirmation?
No, he just needs the BOL.
Yeah, because my dispatcher has been sending the driver the rate confirmation, and I keep wondering why.
Okay,
I'm glad you brought that up.
So does your carrier, your driver, I'm sorry, not your carrier, your driver, do you pay him a weekly amount or do you pay him a percentage?
So for the box truck, we pay 25% of what the load costs.
Okay.
And then for the 18-wheeler, we pay cents per mile.
Okay. So you may want to stop that. Well, both of you send that because they know what they're getting. So that's what I was going to get ready to say. Now, when this driver first started, he was getting a weekly pay. But when we got on with Amazon, they made a different agreement, and he was getting percentages of the loads. So at that point, I would send him the rate. He would see what the rates were. But before they made that agreement, I sent him nothing with payment on it because it was the owner operator's business. Well, of course, me, because I'm the one doing it, so I know what the pay is. But yeah, that may be why your dispatcher is sending that, so they can make sure that they're getting their pay. But if you were paying like $1,500 a week, they definitely would need to see the rate con, because that is what I've noticed, that some people start having problems in their business when they see that, oh man, I'm looking at the rate confirmation, they made $20,000 this week and they're only paying me $1,500.
Right.
No, get out the business, get your pay. They're pocket watching.
Yeah, but that's the problem too, because you forget that, yeah, you're seeing $5,000, but you got 1,500, but then there's gas, there's maintenance,
That's
and
right.
then all these things and paying your dispatcher. And but now that I know that they only need the BOL, I'm gonna have to change it, because at the end of the day, especially if you've been paid cents per mile, you don't need the rate confirmation.
You don't need to see what was on. Well, how are they going to know? Well, wait, you're right. If they're getting cents per
Yeah,
mile,
we're getting
they
cents
know
per
that they
mile.
looked at that truck and they drove 1,500 miles and it was 65% a mile. You already know that. Got you.
Yeah.
Change that. Change that, because there's just some stuff they just don't need to know. This is your part and that's it. So this is how one looks, and you know how I told y'all it says the weight, the commodity, what all was in there. This is all the breakdown of every single thing that is on there. Let me see if there's anything specific where they picked up, where they were going, third party billing, just all of the things. So I want to make sure that you all know how one looks, even though you receive this and you send it directly over to the carrier. They get started, they map their way out, and at this time you are, wrapping things up with the broker and all is well. I wanted to show that, and there's other rate confirmation. I want to show y'all another rate confirmation too. But I think somebody said something over here. That's it on that. And there's something else I wanted to tell y'all. Talk about Square, finding loads. We messed around with the load board for a little bit. So we did load boards, credit checks, dispatcher agreements. So let's look at the dispatcher agreement, because we already did Raycon BOL and factoring company. And these will be just your daily things that you pull up. 1 second. Let me get this dispatcher agreement up. Stop. And at any point, if anybody has any questions, please go right ahead. My connection was restored. Thank you so much. This one. Carrier. Calling question. Does everybody have a dispatcher agreement while I'm up here?
I was gonna order one from you for the $15, but you said it was under, you were gonna include all of that stuff under the file, I think.
In the files, it should be in the file.
Okay.
But I'm going to show you all one. But the one that's in the file, I have to check and make sure that it's the one that is the PDF that you all can plug and play. So I'll make sure of that before you all download it. No, not the commission, dispatcher agreement. Example rate cons. Just want to make sure. I got a lot of PDFs in here. Dispatcher agreement. Payment options for dispatchers. I wanted to show y'all this too, but I talked about it, but I'll show it to y'all too. And this is just going back to, let me bring it up. Your payment and how much you want to charge. I told you all that it's something that you'll come up with your own. Hold on, I heard somebody. Heard something going on. Melissa, are you in here twice? I guess we all got something going on today. Okay, there you go. You back, Sonny?
Yes, I am.
Okay, gotcha. Not my stuff. Okay, here we go. This W-9s. Oh, I was talking about W-9s. I'll talk about that while I'm holding right here. So you want to have, if you want to provide one to your carrier, you can include one with your packet. I used to keep them, but then I realized that they change every year and the dates on them change. So I stopped that, but you want to have one that you want to submit to your carrier when you go into the agreement, because you will be a 1099 employee for now until whatever they decide that a dispatcher is going to be. And have you all been keeping up with that? I try to keep up with the news of what's going on, but I also tell y'all too, everything that I hear and that I know, because we don't want to get ourselves in a situation. We need to start thinking about what we want to do next, how we want to do it. And does anybody plan on, anybody here besides Akeem plan on becoming a broker?
Possibly, but not right now.
You have what right now?
I said possibly, but not right now.
Gotcha. Well, you don't have to do it immediately. But
Only if those new laws make me.
You said what?
Exactly.
I only plan on being a broker if those new laws make me.
That's how I feel.
Right. So let me ask you a question about that. You were saying you can only have one owner operator and then you have to become a broker. But if you have your own truck and an owner operator, you can still stay as a dispatcher, correct?
If you have your own truck and
I'm broker,
you're fine.
You are one owner.
If you are, okay, if you own your own truck and you're dispatching your own truck, you know, that's just one thing. If you take on a carrier, one, outside of your business,
right,
then you can still be a dispatcher, but only for him.
Gotcha.
Because what you're doing for your own business is you're just pretty much running your own truck. So you're not, but if you want to take on more, gotta bounce. Okay, no problem, Tony. If you want to do outside of that, then, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Whatever they're saying that we're going to have to do. Which I don't understand. If you don't know what something is, how do you get to put a name or a mandate on it? That's the part I just don't grasp. And I'm not really a political type person, but when I want to, like what I'm doing for you all, what I'm doing next in my business, I want to be available for client services. So when you need assistance, so I'm calling it, Instant Connect. And what I'm going to do is be available. You can retain me for your business. And if you have new people or you have a question or you run into a problem while you are actively in service, I will assist you and then we'll move forward. We saw it. We saw the need. We called it. We put a name on it. That's what my mind,
Right. That's a good thing.
I don't know. Maybe it's life. But I'm gonna just pull up this one. So the dispatcher agreement. Let me pull this back up. Present now a window. Now I'll just show y'all mine, for example. It's the one that I have for you all is blank. So you'll be able to, well, it's not blank, it's full. It's just plug and play. So this is a dispatcher agreement, a copy of one. I want you all to see one because the one that I have, it has the majority of the stuff on here. What you're going to ask for from a carrier, but I have it where I have all my stuff at. I have it, highlighted in red where you just put your name. But I want you all to still read through it because I want you to have your own obligations. So I have what I'm going to do, the things. I want you to look through it and see if it's what you want to do and you're able to add to it or take away because you may offer something else. You may have been, a carrier before and you may have some insight or something that you want to plug in that you want to offer. So I want to make sure. Now, the majority of the one that I'm giving you all that I have for sale, but you all will get it. I'm going to make sure that it's the right one that's in the group, just for being in the class. I want you to make sure that you look at the bottom part because I don't want us to get in the habit of just taking things and purchasing things and just making it our own and it's done. So I got some little tests at the bottom of it. It's not long or nothing, but I want to make sure that you read it. Another reason is we all know we don't read everything. There's sometimes, especially when I'll use those Apple updates as an example. We just say accept and we go head on. Well, in this, I don't want you all to not know what's on your dispatcher agreement and somebody calls you on it. So say I have something on there that you did not look at and that you did not read through, and then your carrier is like, you said in your agreement that you was going to do this, this, and this, but you're not doing it. I don't see it. I'm not seeing my stuff weekly. What's going on? And you stuck. I don't want that to be y'all. And it works both ways. So if you submit your carrier packet, your dispatcher agreement to a carrier and he doesn't read. I use this example all the time because this is the most popular one that you all are probably going to see too. So, earlier we were saying we got our yes. We asked them to allow us 24 to 48 hours to take a look at the market and see if we can find areas of opportunity or consistent movement for them before we agree to move forward. So 24 to 48 hours have passed. Now we're contacting them back. Hey, how you doing? This is Marian with Emmteenest Logistics. We had a phone call the other day. We agreed that we were going to talk about some services. I asked you to allow me 24 to 48 hours to take a look at the market and see the areas of opportunity. So I was able to take a look. I am seeing good things. We have areas of opportunity or consistent movement. Can you mute for me, Sandra? Consistent movement. I would like to move forward. They're going to be happy. Yes. All right. Let's do it. Okay. So at this point, I would like to move forward. I'm going to email you my dispatcher agreement. Please allow yourself 24 hours to take a look at my dispatcher agreement and sign, and we will move forward, come the dates that we have decided, which is going to be next Tuesday in the example. So they're like, okay, all right, send it over. When I send it over and I receive it back within 20 minutes, I kindly call them up because I know they have not looked at it. I know it. So when I call them up and they say, hey, because now they done locked my number in their phone. Because they're like, oh, I got my dispatcher now. It's on and popping. I say, hey, how you doing? It's Marian again. Oh, I'm good. I sent your packet over. Yes, that's why I'm calling. So you're okay with me being your power of attorney? They instantly stop because they're like, what? And then that's when I chuckle a bit and then I'll tell them, please take a look thoroughly at my dispatcher agreement, yes, in there it does ask your permission to be the power of attorney, but only over your business. Just to be able to represent this portion of your business, to call on loads, to sign off on rate confirmations for you so that you are moving, and that all you need to do is submit me to BOL. And then they'll laugh and they're like, okay, I'm gonna take a look at it, because now it's like, oh, I could have signed my life over and not have known what was going on. So you always want to, and it helps break the ice more and help you establish a relationship. And it also starts to build a level of trust, because they're thinking now, man, she could have easily done me in and let me be that way. But she didn't do that. She contacted me back and let me know that she's asking in this agreement to be running my business. I need to make sure I want her to do that. And these are the things. And then another way that you'll know that they are looking at it and they are reading it is they'll call you back after a while and they'll say, hey, I was looking at your agreement and I'm good with everything, but I'm not comfortable with this putting a credit card on file. And that's when you'll have to say, well, I understand your discomfort. At this point, I have provided you all of the information and all of the things that I can and will do for you. I have also submitted to you in writing the things that I said that I'm going to do for you. So at this point, you have a level of comfort. But at this point, all that I have and will have to be a comfort would be for you to fill out that credit card authorization, letting me know that you do have a plan, or that you will pay me for the services that I'm going to provide for you, that I have also written and signed off on. That's what you have to do, because at this point, I have provided you everything that you need, what I'm going to do. I've taken a load off, all of that. But at this point, all you have said is, I'm going to go over the road. You haven't given me any level of assurance that you're going to pay me for all of the things that I provided. Now, yes, we can get all into, oh, what if there's no card on the file? What if there's no, but we're going to just operate in a positive space and say that we won't have to worry about running that card on file, because you're going to pay me every Friday by 9 a.m. like we're offering. And only, that will be the only time that I would even consider having to run that card. And if there's nothing on there at that point, it will still operate as if you didn't pay me. You will remain where you are. You can find your own way back home or whatever until you clear that balance. We have to work it out some type of way. Also, you all will see and hear people say, oh, this dispatching is not legitimate, not a legitimate business, or dispatchers don't have any say so, or there's no covering for a dispatching business in the FMCSA, all of the things. This is why I say establish your business. You all have heard me say it, and I will say it again. My business, my established LLC is Empty Nest LLC. Empty Nest Logistics is a service offered and a DBA under that umbrella. So my limited liability situation, if you do not pay my company, which is Empty Nest LLC, who will go into the contractual agreement with said transportation, if you do not pay me a certain amount of money, like I'm not going to get a lawyer and take you to court because you didn't pay me $350. But if you owe me $1,000, I've done the work, then I got to put a little something out there. And then Empty Nest Logistics will get their representation, and they will go to court with whatever transportation business. And then whatever I get, whatever the judge says, if it's in my favor, I will submit, Empty Nest LLC will submit that information to the FMCSA, the DOT, whoever it needs to go to, and they will put you out of service until you pay me if that court situation is in my favor. So do not let people tell you that your dispatching service is nothing and that you are not covered. However, if you do not establish your business, that's why I hear a lot of people saying that, stop getting these businesses to do dispatching. You don't have to do that. You can just run the business without all of that and get your money. But what happens if something happens? How are you represented? How do you get compensated for the work that you did? Now, I understand that you might not get a business bank account immediately, but there are other options, but you want to be able to maintain. Also, how I kind of see a rebuttal on that is another reason why we need to establish our businesses as a dispatcher. When we go into these contractual agreements and we work for these carriers, we have to report that. We have to keep that information for a year. I can be audited. So how can I be audited if I wasn't running an established business? And this also leads into, why they have all of these things going on now. And this is important for us as independent dispatchers. All of that under the table money is about to be cut out. The fact that they're now looking into how they can watch your Cash App and watch your Zelle and watch your PayPal and watch your things. So, you braiding hair, getting your $600 and you having people Cash App you, but you're not reporting it. You're still getting your benefits or whatever. However, now they're going to be seeing. They're even going to be able to monitor cash, because at some point, as we all see, a lot of the things that we're paying electronically. So even if you're getting paid in cash, at some point, you got to go put that on a NetSpend card. You got to go put that on some type of prepaid card to be able to pay your things. So, we have to make sure we are operating legitimately in our businesses and that we know what to do. So that's why I also told you all day one, find out what your state requires for you to run a business. Do they require you to get an LLC, a DBA, or do they not require you to report your business as a business until you've made $1,000? Make sure that get with a professional, find out what an LLC is, what it does for you, what it covers. So although I know what it does for me, because I had somebody talk to me about it, I won't offer that information because I'm not the professional. I just got what I needed for my understanding. But I always tell you, look into that and find out what your state requires so you don't be in any kind of trouble. And I'm not on here saying establish your business and do the thing. No, find out what your state requires. Find out when they tell you what it requires, what that means and how that helps you, so you have an understanding. But ultimately, the choice is still going to be yours. So here's the dispatcher agreement. And it just tells what you're going to do. I've, of course, made some changes since then. This was my very first one. And I was, out here practicing and things. So this is what you are going to require from your carriers: assigned W-9, certificate of insurance, MC authority letter, and the completed contract. So these are all of the things. So basically what we do as dispatchers is we onboard carriers. We get all of their information to onboard them with a broker. So all of these are the things that you'll have. So when you contact a broker for the very first time, you will, and a driver license and stuff, there's your power of attorney and stuff. When you first contact a dispatcher and it's the first time that your carrier is working with them, you are going to send them all of these things. They're going to send you the carrier packet, which is their thing like this. And you are going to send them and attach all of this information because you will have it. You will not have to ask the carrier again for any of these things. Every time you go on, get them connected with a new broker, you will submit all these things. So basically, the broker is their boss. The broker is our boss. The broker is who has the work. So once we send this, once we get our yes from the broker, so let me just run down a little brief conversation of how it'll go. You call them up, you say, hey, how you doing? I'm calling on the load that you have from Ohio to Miami. Is it still available? They will say, oh, yes, it is. This is the commodity. That means what's on there. This is how much it weighs. This is what time it needs to be picked up. This is what time it needs to be dropped off. And just all of this is how many miles it's going. They just pretty much repeat to you everything that you see on the load board. And then they'll say, and it's going for this much. Can you do it? Let's just go with yes, that is something that we already like and we already work with. We already know all of the information from our carrier. So this is a yes for them. They want to move forward. And we already credit checked before we called, or we took a moment to credit check while we're talking. So yes, all is well. We decide to move forward. At that point, the broker's going to say, all right, let me have your authority number. So you're going to give them the MC number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They look you up. Okay, you're good to work with us, but we see that you've never worked with us before. So we're going to move forward on the low. I'm going to go ahead and send you over the carrier agreement. In that carrier agreement, it's gonna say their company name, their all of that, and they're gonna be requesting all of these. You're just gonna attach, fill out what you need to fill out. You're gonna attach all of these things and send it over. As soon as you get that completed, they're gonna send you the rate confirmation. You're gonna take a look at the rate confirmation. You're gonna make sure that what they have on there is what you all agreed to over that phone. So you're gonna take a look at the rate confirmation. Here's one. So you're gonna say, is that one? No. You're going to say, okay, you're going to look at this line here. So let's just do it. So this is what they agreed to pay me. And I think I forgot to tell you, but you're going to see different kinds of rate confirmations. You're going to see janky like this, where they just created them a line, and then you'll see some that are really, really beautiful. But we want to look for the line. So we agreed that this is what the commodity is. So this is what he told us. It's garage doors. It weighs 14,000 pounds. So this is all that we talked about on the phone. This is how many miles that he said it was. This is how much he's going to pay us, $1,000. I'm sorry, not $1,000. This is for a hot shot. So this is the value of the load. This is why you need to give your insurance and your information. This is where we're picking it up from. This is where we're taking it off. Taking it to. This is how much we agreed that we would take it for. If we agreed that we were going to do it for $1,100 and he sends me this and it says $1,050, I need to instantly contact him back and say, hey, this is supposed to be $1,100. Guess what he has to do? Send me a brand new thing that says $1,100 right here. We do not play about. And then here are the instructions. They're releasing these 3 loads to me. It requires a 40-foot hot shot, which is what I had, which is why I called. They don't need any tarp. They must pre-call the receiver to coordinate the delivery, which means when you get this, when I send the BOL over to the carrier, he needs to go ahead and say that he's picked it up and he needs to get a time to drop off from the other end. So they'll give him an appointment, or they'll say, when you get here, ask for Henry. They'll give you the directive. And then, please sign. Oh, I made up Henry, but it was Henry. And then all of the business. So here is the one for a non-CDL, but the same thing. You all be careful with what you all want to select, because certain equipments are, a little bit more difficult if it's a non-CDL. But we'll learn it and we'll figure it out. But this is just another one. Same thing. Who the carrier was, the phone number, what we agreed to, all of the things, and then the instructions. And these are just a few more. And this is one for a flatbed, but the things are the same. The line haul, what we agreed to, what the commodity is, how many pieces, how much the weight. So this is what we look at, and we just make sure the rate confirmation says what we agreed to. And if there is anything that changes, and this one has a different one. This one has instructions. The appointment is required. Co-signee is required for the appointment. And drivers are required to text when loaded and text a clear copy of the BOL upon delivery, or a $50 fine will be deducted from the freight rate. So you want to know all of this. And then sometimes, maybe this one have it, but sometimes they'll have in here, if you are late, $100 will be deducted from the freight rate. So you want to make sure you know all of the things, because you want to relay this information to your carrier and help them understand how, strict they are, what they mean, and how you, Mr. Carrier, will be penalized if you don't do right. But my 8% will still stand because I relayed the information and you deterred or deviated from the plan. And here it is. They have information on here about double brokering. Whoever takes this will not subcontract, trip lease, or double broker this load. That means whoever called on this, when I got your information, that better be who pulls up here to pick this up and completes this. So remember, I was telling you all, some are very detailed and very strict, and they mean this, or there will be consequences. Invoices and instructions, you must reference order number, that you picked up on your invoice to ensure your timely payment. And that's just everything that you are submitting back into the broker. So this one is very, very, very detailed on what they want. And here's another one for a dry van. The confirmation, where they picked up. And I'm just going through these, you all, so you all can see the different instructions and the different things that people might say that we need to know on the rate confirmation when we're relaying that information to the carrier. Please sign and fax back. So he wants his to be, failure to do any of the following will result in a $50 fine. Driver must report any overages, shortage of damaged product immediately. So that means you're doing, you're checking on it. Here's some instructions for a 26-foot box truck. Same thing. But see how the lines, remember I told y'all some of them will be pretty, some of them will be, this one is more structured. They got all of the line. So they got one stop, two stops. One stop, that's where you pick it up at. What time? See, they already have the appointment. They didn't have to call anybody. And who you're gonna, who's picking it up, who's dropping it off, where it's gonna be dropped off at, all of the things. And here is what they talked about. What the pieces is one piece of, whatever it is one thing. It weighs 8,000 pounds. It's a container. Line haul, what we agreed to. One item, one flat rate, quantity, one thing, and we're gonna pay $1,000. So if this is a good one for me to tell y'all about it. So say she got there to pick it up and all the things. She ended up getting delayed 2 hours. Let's say detention pay is $150. We would contact the broker back. He would resend us this, and it will have this one, and then it'll have another line that now says one item, detention pay, $150, one time. And then 100, so this will be $1,150. Let's just say that they had detention and it started off with detention. So that was $150. And then just for whatever reason, they ended up paying for detention, but now the company is closing and they can't pick up till the morning. So guess what? We got layover. So they need to come send this again with a third line that says one payment, layover, $250. And if they want to break it down, they can say for hotel, for food, for holding the truck overnight, whatever it is, 3 lines. Anytime there is a difference done, you need a new rate confirmation. We will not allow them to send us this, and then we have add-ons, and they say, okay, we'll get it taken care of. No, I need it. It needs to be written. It is written. That's what the words say. It is written. It needs to be written, and that is our proof. That is the only way we will move forward and do what needs to be done. And then, of course, you want to look through here with the shipment notes, because this one is very detailed. Please check the pickup, delivery, all of the things. So, this one even has, please dispatch ASAP any issues that may prevent pickup or delay. And this is for a specific company. Are not liable for damage caused when the freight is moving, trucks not showing up or empty. Partial load can be rejected without a total being issued. So if they got on there what we gonna pay, what we not gonna pay. If this is what happens, notice of detention. Dispatch must be notified at least 30 minutes before detention begins. So that means you need to tell me when you see the detention is happening, Mr. Carrier, so I can go ahead and contact the broker and let them know that, hey, you're about to incur another fee because it's within time. And then lumpers, but they have the general information for everybody down here. So if it pertains to you or applies, then you do it. So that is what I wanted to show you all. And let me go back over here to the agreement, because this is part, of what we're going to do. What are the services that you're going to do? So when you go with a broker, these are all the things that you're going to move forward and that they need. So that's basically how they onboard your carrier and pay them. And then you sign, and then they sign their part. You all's is not this difficult like this, but the power of attorney, the name of the company, their authority, address and their information, and you're saying that I, whoever you are, a company name, whatever you put, hereby appoint me or you, whatever your name, as my attorney in fact, look, it means power of attorney. And that's just saying that I have the full power to contact people on your behalf, book on your behalf, fight for your total detention delay on your behalf, represent you in every way concerning the business, the admin role of the business. That's all. Contact shippers and brokers on behalf, transfer paperwork. That means when I send your stuff over to your factoring company, wherever the information needs to be, sign and execute rate confirmations on your behalf. Just all of the things. Yes. This durable power of attorney shall continue effective for 24 months or whatever you put in there. This power of attorney may be revoked by me at any time, providing 30-day written notice to the agent, who is me. And then the carrier profile, what your equipment is, but the other one is much shorter. It gets on to the point, what all you have, because this is for me. So when I'm calling and booking loads, I know all that you have. If you are air ride, whatever, all of the details. Carrier profile, if you have a second piece of equipment, you don't need to worry about that. Again, this was my beginning one where it was just real too much, doing the most for the least. I really was. Giving, because I was, coming out the gate, we think we captain dispatch. We got to go. Once you start learning what's going on, you be like, oh, just look a fool. Change that up. And this right here is, the rate per mile, the maximum amount of pickups they want to do, cost per stop, which a lot of this is old school and doesn't make sense anymore because of the ELD and how they have to run now and how they have to do their time, which is why another reason I have the changes. Do you want to touch freight? Don't you want to touch, yes or no? And this right here is if you have a factoring company, you give me their information and you let them know that I'm going to be contacting them on your behalf, or 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell the factoring company and they're going to contact you and give you your login. This is your insurance information, which you don't really feel as I just attach everything that you just send me these attachments. And we work that out. If you have multiple pieces of equipment, just tell me about them and what number you have them and who drives it and their cell phone, who all I'm gonna be dispatching for. Put that on there. But a lot of this they won't fill out. They will just fill it out on a piece of paper and you just attach. You have all of the information. And here's where I remember I told you I used to have a W-9 connected, but this right here changed up. So you get they'll send you the W-9 and you need to get one for yourself to send to them because you work for them. And then the credit card authorization. And that just, if you don't pay me, I'm going to run this. And that's it. That is it for your dispatcher agreement. All of the things is a whole lot faster than, what it looks like. Everything is always longer and kind of confusing when we are, new to something and it's new to our eyes. So yeah, that is it. I think I've covered everything. And of course, you all who came in later, we will, you can catch the replay. But before we get off of here, I will go over one more time, finding your carrier and looking on the load board for things for them. Let's close them all. Am I still here? Okay, I thought this thing cut off again. I was like, come on now, this is not happening. So we will briefly go over and look at again how to find your carriers, checking the credit. And then we will be done for the day. Okay, so we'll just use the same example. So we got our carrier. All is well. We're moving forward. We found this load.
Marianne.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you go back I am on the screen that has the PDF, and I'm not sure how to get to where you are right there. You're on the FMCSA.
No, I'm on the low board.
Yeah. You're on the truck.
Trucker's Edge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Trucker's Edge. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Over at the top right. The last thing I remember you saying was click on the FMCSA register and hit go.
And the PDFs are going to come up. Yeah, those are just when you're looking for your carriers.
Right.
Yeah, right now I'm just going over credit check, and then we're going to get out.
Okay, but you were on a screen that showed the different carriers and what they have, what they offer. Is it 2-man, 1-man? You know what I'm saying? You're on that.
Oh, here on the safer.
Where do you get? That's the safer.
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
Got you.
Okay. Right here.
go.
You mean the power unit?
Different screen.
Got you. Okay, so for the power units and the drivers. Gotcha. That's on the safer.
Got
so
it.
you have two screens for your safer. You have this one that you're going to look them up, and then you have the one where you go into the PDFs and copy and paste their names.
Got it.
Okay. No problem.
I put it together. Thank
Gotcha.
you.
Okay, so we're going to go on here, and we already have this one up. And if you need, we'll go back. So you can, well, we're actually searching the loads. So we'll go here. We'll find one, like we will use an example there. They wanted $2 a mile. So we'll go here. We find the load that looks good for them. It's got really good deadhead, 39 miles. That's fine. We can do it before we book this. So we say, yes, that's what we want. That's a good price for us. We will take it. We will come over here. We will get that authority number because we need to know if they can pay. 196502. We will go into our credit checker. Oh, we still have them up, so they can't pay. So we still want to 196502. We'll go back to it. Yes. And at this point, we are on the phone dialing as fast as our fingers will allow us, this broker, so we can try to be the first one to get this load. Now, let me show you this really quickly. Let me together. Like I told you all, I use this to move quickly. But if my carrier has a factoring company, I will still use this to move quickly. But now that I see that they can pay, I've dialed up the brokerage. I'm going to go over here to where my carrier has a factoring company, and I'm going to put that company in and see if my factoring company will pay them while I'm looking. Because you always want to see, just because they can pay, you want to make sure that your carrier, so you'll put them in, and by the time you get off the phone, you should have a response from your factoring company that says yes, and they are approved for $20,000. They can pay up to, they'll tell you the things. But you always use this one if your person does not have a factoring company and you want to make sure that this company can pay. That is one of the main things that we want to know. So we go here, they can pay, we call them up. Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Broker. Mr. Broker, I'm calling on the load that you got from Cumming, Georgia to Waxahachie, Texas. Is it still available? And they will take off from there. Yes, it is. The commodity is A, B, and C. It needs to be picked up on such and such date. It needs to be dropped off on such and such date. And it is 15,000 pounds. They have notes here. Palletized material. Pickup is between 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Drop off between 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Firm on the rate. We will not do any more than the $1,800, which for us is already fine because it's $242 more than what we were asking for anyway. So we are fine. We don't have a need to negotiate. We just need to know, where do we sign? So that is it for today. That is it for the week. On Monday, of course, you all know that I'm still available in the group till 5, still Monday through Friday. So if you come in contact or you think of something, please post in there. That is how you all get me. Tuesday, not Monday, I'm sorry. Tuesday, hopefully I will have all of our volunteers secured On Tuesday, we will be doing all of the things. We won't worry too much about cold calling because I know that you all know how to do it, but I'm hoping at that point I already have a carrier for us all. So come Tuesday, we will just start working and doing the processes every day on carriers that we already have. I will already speak to them, the ones that are, that are volunteering outside of, people who have their own. I think Yvette has her own, which will be her husband, and Akeem, if we need some more, he will allow us to at least look and practice. And if we find something, that'll be fine. So I'm going to speak to the carriers who have volunteered. Again, I will remind you all, next week, we will be doing services for them for free. It is a part of them allowing us to help, and it is a part of us getting practice. And then the following week, which I'll remind us all again, we will be working from Monday through Wednesday. We will start at 8 a.m. if you can arrive. I will be here at 8 a.m. So whatever time you come in, I will be available to help you, but you will be doing it on your own. But we'll be in this setting together. So when you have a problem or you come in contact with an issue, I'll be right here to assist. And that week, we will still be doing services. You will be assigned a carrier at that point, and you will be working for 3%. 3% is it. I'm not shysty, so there's not like I'm getting 5%, and I'm getting 2 and y'all getting 3. It is all you all's profit, which is the 3%. I appreciate you all for taking this course. So I don't need, to be trying to get no skim. I want you all to have somebody by the time you leave this class. So we will be doing the processes. I will be speaking to them. I will be letting them know that we will be working the business how it goes. We will not be making anything up or improvising, because that's not how this works. So if we contact and we look for loads for you all day, all morning, and we don't find anything, you're just not going to be moving that day. That's the reality of this business. It's not, play, and we don't have anything that we can just magically give you. You are a new business, and this is how it works. The process doesn't change. Me being seasoned and you all coming from class being new does not change the broker and Snyder and JB Hunt them from saying, if you haven't been in business 60 days, we won't work with you. I cannot make them bend. We cannot make them move. So I want to make sure that they understand that the process is the process. Do not expect to have preferential treatment because you're coming in this dispatcher group. We are really doing the services. We are really all running our businesses. So again, I'm going to make sure that they know that. So when they come in, when they give us the permission, when we make sure, because we are going to make contact the same. So when we contact them, we're going to let them know that we're starting. We're going to be working on them today. Are you moving today? Because it's not going to make sense for us to call you up and start looking for work for you, and we mess around and get a yes, and you're not moving. We're also, when you are assigned, you guys are also going to send them your dispatcher agreement. They are going to really go into agreement with you. This is really your first carrier. So if you are not prepared to start now, please let me know. So what we'll do for you is we'll just allow you to help others who have a carrier find loads. So you still get in the practice, but I want to assign you a carrier. That way, you won't have that problem. So thank you all again so much for your time. Thank you all for today. Thank you all so much. This is it for us for week 1. I will see you all on Tuesday. Again, I am available in the group until 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. So if you think of something, you have questions, however, I will respond to you up until 5 p.m. And we'll work it out. So again, thank you all so much, and you have a great rest of your day.
Bye now.
Bye now.
Bye.